Olivia Issa here from Issa Fit, and today I'm going to show you how to make a simple wrap skirt using a pattern. I'll put the link below that you can download as a PDF and print off at home to assemble your pattern for this project. So to do that, I have some lightweight fabric. I've washed and dried this with standard machine settings on my washing machine. I also have some thread and a matching bobbin. If you don't know how to thread your bobbin, I'll attach the link for another video where I show you how to thread the bobbin. I'll also be using some straight pins, scissors, and then I have ribbon and a ruler here to measure my waist. If you have a measuring tape that curves and moves flexibly, go ahead and pull that out. I don't, so if you don't, that's totally fine. We can just use a ribbon and a ruler. To measure my waist, I'm going to use our ribbon ruler combo. Again, if you have a measuring tape that bends, go ahead and pull that out. But to do this, I'm going to stand up and take the ribbon and pull through to the end of the ribbon and wrap this around my waist where I want my skirt to sit. Make sure you're not wearing any bulky clothing that'll affect this measurement. And I'm going to pull the ribbon all the way so that the end of the ribbon is touching the middle and mark where the end of the ribbon meets. So mine meets about here. I'm gonna mark this with a pin so I don't lose it. And now I'm gonna pull out my ruler and I'm gonna measure. All right, now I measured that my waist is about 25 inches. If you look at the sizing chart for the pattern, you'll see that there's a 24-inch option and the 26-inch option. For my pattern, I'm going to round up and go with 26. I'd recommend rounding up in most cases because you can always take your clothes in, but it's hard to add more space if you've made your product too small. To download and print my PDF pattern, I'm going to go to oisafit.com and up to the tutorials section and find the simple wrap skirt tutorial and PDF pattern post. Then I'll scroll down to print pattern here, open this up, and you'll see this is a PDF, and it says it's 21 pages. But actually instructions start on page 17 of this pattern, so I'm only going to want pages 1 through 16. You can see here. So to do that, I'm going to go up to print. And when it says pages, I'm going to go to custom, and I'm going to put 1 through 16. And then I'm going to print using standard 8.5 by 11 paper, black and white, vertical orientation, and make sure it's single-sided pages. You don't want double-sided. Here I have my pattern that I've printed, and you can see that every page has a number and a letter. This is going to dictate how we arrange our pattern. I'll put the graphics up here so you can see, but we'll arrange them in 2 separate panels, the back panel with all the papers with a B, and the side panel with all the pages with an S. Now, as I lay B2 over B1, I'm going to try to align the pages so that there's a 1/2 inch overlap, which is marked by the dotted lines on each paper. So you can line up the edge of B2 with the dotted line of B1, or vice versa, the edge of B1 with the dotted line of B2. The goal as you're lining up your pages is to make the lines between the pages as seamless as possible. Once you've arranged them as you like, tape the paper together to hold them in place. Now you can see I've completed the back panel, and we'll move on to the side panel. Looking at the sizing chart against my waist measurement, I'm going to need a size B. So up here you can see in the key, B is a dotted line, so I'm going to find the dotted line of my pattern and cut along that line for size B. Once I'm done, I'll put that panel aside, start on my back panel and my waistband. Lay your fabric out on a flat surface and fold it in half. Lay your pattern panels onto the fabric, aligning the straight edge of the back panel with the fold of the fabric so that when you cut along the outside of the back panel, you'll end up with two mirroring back panels connected in the middle. Pin or trace the outline of the pattern onto the fabric. Ignore the waistband for now. Cut along the outline you just pinned or traced, leaving 1/4 to 1/2 inch around the outline for seam allowance. Be sure to cut through both layers of fabric as you're cutting. For the waistband, outline and cut 4 panels if you want a skirt that knots at the waist and 5 for a waistband that ties into a bow. To make it easier to cut 4 or 5 panels, try doubling the fabric as you pin and cut around your pattern so that you're cutting 2 panels at once. If you can, line one of the short sides of the waistband up along a fold in the fabric so that you get one long strip, double the length of the pattern panel without having to sew 2 panels together. Align the ends of the waistband strips and pin them together so that you end up with one long strip of fabric, 4 to 5 times as long as your waistband panel on the pattern. Using a straight or zigzag stitch, sew where you just pinned, connecting the waistband panels. Fold the waistband in half long ways so that the outside of the fabric is facing in and pin along the edges. Towards the middle of the waistband, leave 6 inches open so that you have an opening to use when turning the band right side out. To make a 90-degree angle with your sewing machine, lower your needle all the way down, lift the foot, and turn your fabric 90 degrees. Then lower the foot and keep sewing. Using the 6-inch opening in the middle, turn the waistband right side out. Fold down the 6-inch opening so that the raw edges of the fabric are hidden. Pin this down so that you can iron it closed later. Run an iron all along the waistband to crisp the edges. When you get to the 6-inch opening, be sure to iron down the sides to keep the raw edges hidden. You'll sew this down later. Lay the back and side panels down on a flat surface and pin the straight edges of the side panels to the straight edges of the back panels, being sure to face the outsides of the fabric towards each other. Sew down the two sides that you just pinned together using a straight or zigzag stitch. Be sure to knot off the seams so they don't unravel. For the hem of the skirt, fold the fabric over twice, 1/2 inch each time, and iron so that you can't see the raw edge of the fabric. Pin that hem down to hold it in place. Sew down the hem using a straight stitch. Align the middle of the waistband with the middle of the back panel of the skirt. Pin the side of the waistband that has the seam to the top of the skirt. Be sure to pin along the inside of the fabric on the skirt panels. Use a straight stitch to connect the waistband to the skirt panels. Iron the waistband flat and pin and sew down the waistband just below the seam so that the waistband stays flat.
I hope you found that tutorial helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my blog, link in the description. Thanks, stay safe, and see you soon.